not like that state put me in a cell. All these people were my friends. They live in a state where it's like illegal for me to use the bathroom. Oh my gosh, like what the heck? I can't speak too much in legal details, but me going to prison, getting my head shaved, having a male cellmate, and getting raped is a very real possibility.
The head shave thing, is that like a standard policy for prisons?
For Florida, like that's something that would happen to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really screwed up. Do you have like a legal fund going? Like, again, I'll link anything in the description, but like
I don't have a legal fund going, but I would love. I might actually start something where people can just like Venmo me money because I'm like broke and like this is taking up so much time and energy. It's probably gonna be hard for me to like do work and school and stuff. And I mean,
lawyers are really expensive.
Yeah, but I'm getting helped. I have some friends at ACLU and they're helping me out. I can't discuss my lawyers too much.
But you're protected. You'll be protected.
I'm protected, yeah. Emotional and mad. And I was just like, screw it. I'm going to break the law. Like, I mean, I think people need to focus on how young I am. Like, I'm 20. I'm not like some weathered activist. I'm not some intellectual philosopher.
Yeah.
This 20-year-old kid who just thought the law was stupid and I broke it. And now I'm going to rot in a cell. That's Trump's America. Like,
yeah.
Part of the reason I did it is I knew that if I didn't get arrested now, I was going to get arrested later.
Yeah. And do you feel like that's a risk for like you specifically or trans people in general or like a wider category? Like who do you kind of see as being impacted?
They're going to come for all of us. Hopefully this is like a setback, but like Michael Knowles gave a speech a couple like years ago, like 2 years ago at CPAC to thunderous applause saying how we need to eradicate transgenderism. This is what these policies are. They're based on this. And he says, I don't want to really eradicate transgender people. But of course he said that because he can't legally say that. He wants to eradicate transgender people, though. I think all these people do. I think that's the end goal. And it's very sad. Like I've seen so many like violent comments about us of like people saying like if they were in the bathroom, they would have given me a whooping and I would have walked out in a body bag. And it's like, I mean, that's the consequences of this kind of rhetoric.
And one thing I've seen as well is that like primarily it's butch cis women that are being like physically assaulted like in the bathrooms more often than not. They're accused of being trans women and then they're like beaten up or like harassed. And I don't know. I agree with you. It's an issue that definitely needs to get solved one way or another. I hope your court case helps more than hurts. And specifically, I hope that like you're able to like get through this with less lifelong trauma than you're anticipating.
The trauma thing already gonna happen. Like,
well, I imagine a lot more is coming if you're about to go get raped in prison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That probably will happen.
I'm saying hopefully you don't go to prison. Hopefully You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh God.
No, it's okay. No need to apologize.
This is just so like screwed though. Okay, one question people are going to want to know is like, why were you in Florida? Not to compare you to Kyle Rittenhouse, but was this like a Rittenhouse situation where you're like 30 miles away, or are you like going to school there? Did you say like Florida's the worst state for trans bills? Let me go fuck them up. How did you end up in Florida?
I love Florida. I don't want to like dox.
Don't dox yourself. Don't dox yourself.
My family owns property down there, and I was at that property. Like, I was, like, on my family's property. And,
like spring break or something.
Yeah, for spring break, I was just going back down there. I have family down there and stuff. And I've spent probably collectively, like, at least a year in Florida. I spent a lot of my life in Florida. And Florida's, like, home. Like, I go to the restaurants and people know me. The mini golf courses, people know me. Like, I have friends there. And I think it's kind of my favorite state. Maybe not so much anymore. I don't know. I might have to read that. But not like that state put me in a cell. All these people were my friends. They live in a state where it's like illegal for me to use the bathroom. Oh my gosh, like what the heck?
You might not know the answer, but I'm curious if it's because it was like a government building, if that's why they like enforced it,
yeah,
or if
it was probably why. That was probably, the thing is, these laws, they're supposed to make us scared, but they're not. It optically looks bad if it actually gets enforced, and I did it in the most uppity way. I was just like, I just told them what I was going to do and where I was going to do it, and I was very uppity about it. So of course it was going to be enforced on me. I mean, I was very clear about it. I told them exactly what was going on.
Definitely.
And I didn't get famous, by the way. Like, I guess I'm famous now, but like this is like an unintended consequence. And I'm like, wow. Every time I've Googled my name my whole life, like nothing came up. Now stuff comes up. It's like, wow.
Now you're all over.
Yeah.
I am curious. Do you intend on trying to utilize this attention for other ventures, or like, do you want to be in the public eye? Do you not really want to be in the public eye? What's kind of your future outlook on this?
I mean, I don't really have a choice. I'm gonna be in the public eye, and to sort of just go back and be cowardly and be like, oh, hey, guys, don't look at me. Might as well, I might as well use this to take I said on my first interview with the Tampa Bay Times with Romy, when I first got out, Romy's the name of the reporter, I said, like, I'm not an activist. And I wasn't an activist. When I did this, I really wouldn't consider myself an activist. I was just like a normal college student who's pissed off. But I guess now I'm an activist. This is something I do now. This is something that happened to me. So, yeah.
That's exciting. How do you feel about being an activist?
I don't know. I guess I have to, like, be influencing and, like, posting stuff and, like, saying that this is bad. I might stage some more protests. I don't know. I should probably keep hush-hush on them, though, but I think it would be great. Everyone was saying on the Reddit, and I'm on the internet. I've been getting on the internet. I'm not on the internet, but I'm on the internet now. But, like, everyone was saying we got to get a bunch of trans men, like 100 trans men in, like, the women's bathroom. What a scene that would cause. And they couldn't do anything.
That would cause a scene.
I think it would be great if we did that. Because the point is to arrest us. The point is to make us scared, to get us to be assaulted. The point isn't actually to make the bathrooms more safe. And I think that would be great if the visuals, the optics of 100 trans men in the women's bathroom, wouldn't that be crazy? I think that would be great. I think we need to do that. I remember Saul Alinsky, I listened to his audiobook the other day, and he talked about when he was going up against the city of Chicago, and there was like something about African-American rights. He had this idea of, what if, how people go on airplanes and they're like holding it the whole time because they don't want to use like the airport lavatory, the airplane lavatory, so they wait for the airport, then they make a beeline, right? I don't know, like if we got like he was saying, like, what if we just had someone to block all of the bathrooms, like everyone was in the bathrooms all at once? It would just be complete chaos and pandemonium. What if we got a bunch of trans men to block all the women's bathrooms? I think that would be great, but I think it would be kind of like a protest, like an airport. I don't know. This is just stuff I'm spitballing. I love Saul Alinsky. He would do protests where he would find some organization was discriminating against black people. They wouldn't hire black people. And he heard some offhand comment from like their CEO about black people being watermelon munchers. And so he would get like 100 black people to go into the store with watermelons and like just sit there. What a scene.
What was that book called?
Rules for Radicals. He's not the best person morally. Like, I think he's actually kind of evil, but he's a genius. Because he worked with the mob and stuff. I don't Evilmaxx, but he worked with the mob and stuff, and he learned political organization tactics from, like, how the mob operates.
That's crazy. He's like, I'm a political activist. My activism is the Italian mob.